Hey everyone. I'm sure you've probably heard that saying that's been going around lately. If only I were born in a different time, or I was born in the wrong time era. Honestly, I feel both that I was born in the right one and in the wrong one. But for the context of this video, I'll just go with the right one. Why did I say that? Over the last couple of years, particularly this year, there's been a rise in people called detransitioners, which are basically people who went through a gender transition, surgical transition, and then found out they had made a mistake and started to detransition, going back to the gender they were born as, and posting videos about why they saw the process as a mistake. Now, if I were born, I'd say a decade and a half later than I was, I might have actually been on this trend. And the reason why is because of the time that I was born in. You see, there are many reasons why I disowned my old man. One of which was because even though both he and my mom wanted a girl, they never got one. And I was the youngest of my family. My mom could accept 3 sons, be happy, and even though she had some flawed parenting techniques, she still did what she could and proved that she was glad to have 3 sons. He, on the other hand, wasn't so glad about it and would give some psychological pushes onto me that I should have been born a girl. Little moments throughout my childhood and teenhood, in hindsight, really point out that he was not completely satisfied with having 3 sons. Really point out that he had so wished he had a daughter. Don't mind my roommate's dog barking. So, it came to a point in high school that I started to notice certain psychological problems I was having in regards to what people call today the gender construct. The idea that if you're supposed to be a boy, you're going to have to do these things. If you're supposed to be a girl, you got to be doing these things. But these are ideas that really struck out in the 90s. You're a boy, huh? Well, then why don't you blah, blah, blah. Or a better example is the movie The Little Giants, which is a family football movie with Rick Moranis. And in one scene early in the movie, a teen girl is being teased by some macho boys, teasing her about being a girl and playing football, saying that's a boy sport, and asking, so when you go to the bathroom, do you sit down like girls do, or do you stand up? At the time, I didn't quite catch the joke, but I still somehow found it humorous. Nowadays, people might get offended at that joke to the point of, actually trying to transition, thinking that what was considered being a tomboy at that time is now a medical sign, according to some doctors, that you're actually a boy born in a girl's body, or perhaps non-binary. That being said, Yeah, I actually have accepted I was born a boy, grew up into being a man, and yet there are certain influences of femininity, especially in my movements, which I do use when I'm a scare actor. Movements that seem strange. Movements I can manipulate to unsettle people. Things I learned about from scary movies. Things that put people at complete unease. Things that can actually terrify them because I've learned a lot from scary movies and scary stories. And I've used to great effect. That being said, well, I never once thought about transitioning. Ever. Why would I? To me, that seems to reject reality. Reject the whole notion of accepting what I was born as. Sure, I'm gonna get some labels thrown at me. I know. I've already been called so many horrible, demeaning terms this year alone by people who literally do not know me at all, except as some random guy online. And if I use their terms against them in the same manner as they do, then I get called even worse. Which seems rather hypocritical of them. I've already been called a Nazi, a transphobe, a bigot, a homophobe. And I've joked with them that, gee, thanks. Now I'm going to have to tell my gay best friend and my trans friends and acquaintances I can't hang out with them because you claim I'm a transphobe. Thanks, jerk. And a couple of them have blocked me for that. Typical. They can't handle the jokes that they throw at others. That being said, well, like I said, I feel like I was born in both the right and wrong time. In very quick side note, what I mean by the wrong time. Well, I have a code of honor I live with and live up to. Pretty much inspired by the legend of King Arthur. A code of actual honor, of what it means to actually be a man, and not this extreme toxic machoism that sure was played to great comedic effect at times in the 80s and sometimes get teased at in today's movies, but is rather rarely actually played to real effect in movies. But hey, if you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. If not, there's always sources to look up to. Take care.